welcome, welcome to another episode of T3Live. Just waiting to get confirmation from my behind the scenes staff that everything is running. Everybody should be seeing a beautiful teaser prelude to the documentary about my time take a minute to take it in. You want to talk about wilderness, true wilderness. That is where you go to find said wilderness. People at classes ask me all the time, what is it that what are you afraid of? And it wasn't until, all right, there we go. So yeah, so you guys got to hopefully see that little precursor, little teaser video I did about my I'm working on a documentary on the trip I recently took to my buddy Jim's house up outside Fairbanks, and frankly, I'm very highly tempted to move up there. The 110 inches of snow in the winter thing is kind of doesn't sound very fun, and but yet intriguing at the same time. I already imagine myself building little otter tunnels to move around the property. But yeah, that was if you've never been to Alaska, I highly recommend it. Any place you can go in Alaska. One really funny side note. So my first ever T3 live I did in this exact spot, in this exact chair, and I put the chair down and I sit down and the legs just instantly go into mole tunnels and I fall backwards. So forgetting all about that, I you know, repeated the same mistake. Set my chair down, got the computer set up, got everything set up, sat in the chair and immediately went backwards. And yeah, we'll add it to the blooper reel. But how is everybody doing tonight? Hopefully well. We are enjoying the last few kind of nice days here in Oregon. It's a little bit cloudy today, but it's, you know, 71 degrees. It was nice and sunny yesterday. Um, so yeah, but as they say, winter is most definitely coming. I hate that. Does that? Sorry about the thing with the cable where it flashes on the webcam. If it becomes too much of an issue, I will just use my computers. Uh, but anyway, speaking of beautiful falls, uh, one thing this area of the world is known for is its prolific amount of mushrooms and many different species of mushrooms. I've been out here for this will be my sixth year come February 14th, Valentine's Day. It'll be my sixth year here. And people ask me all the time, T3, are you going to run a mushrooms class? When are you going to run a mushrooms class? And, I am not too humble to admit that I am not comfortable with my skill level with the mushrooms in this area to run a class on it. Could I do it? Absolutely. I know the basic goodies, but uh, you don't come to Future Nature for just a basic understanding. You know, my whole ethos is small groups, um, packed with lots of knowledge. That's what you're going to get. So anyway, I met not this past summer, but the summer before at the farmers market in our little town of Sandy. I met this guy named John who is selling mushrooms. Um, and he grows all sorts of different mushrooms. I'll put his website in the description of this as soon as the live stream over, but I believe it's empireofdirtmushrooms.com. So I started talking to him and I'm like, how are you with wild mushrooms? And he's like, oh yeah, I know them. And I said, well, how would you feel about doing a mushroom class? Because a lot of my students are asking for it. And then last year was it went from summer one day, literally, it was like 90 degrees. And then the next day, it was 45 and raining all the way until the spring. It was the craziest. Like it skipped over fall. It's like in the Monty Python movie. And spring gave way to summer, and summer skipped right over fall and went right into winter. Yeah, it was crazy. So it was a really bad mushroom year. And uh, a class about mushrooms is a difficult one to run because you only really have two windows, right? You got your spring and you got your fall. Obviously, there are mushrooms that grow throughout the summer, but they're not as prolific as when you know, everything is saturated and the light is at a certain level and the temperature is at an average range. Um, so we passed on it last year, and then he came out here a couple days ago, and we started walking around, and there are just mushrooms everywhere. I've taken so many pictures of mushrooms in the last couple of days. Yeah. So 2 weeks from now, once we get a little bit more rain, temperature lowers a little bit, that's when the real kind of explosion of mushrooms is going to be. So on November 5th, which is 2 days after my birthday, we are holding a introductory um introduction to mushrooms classes, introduction to edible mushroom class. It'll be from 9 to 5. It's $75, and there are 20 spaces available. Now, one of the reasons I don't teach mushrooms out here, but I'm completely comfortable with teaching plants, is if you look at the plant kingdom, let's imagine it's this big, there's only like a really small portion of plants that will actually kill you, or cause you serious harm. When it comes to mushrooms, there's a lot more that are, there's a lot more poisonous ones, there's a lot more poisonous lookalikes. So you really got to know what to look for. And the thing I love about learning about mushrooms is it really forces you to work on your skills of awareness. First of all, you're looking for this little thing that's growing in the forest floor, so you're looking small, and then you then you then you gotta identify it. Um, and sometimes the difference between you can have two mushrooms growing side by side that look almost identical. And the only way to tell the difference between the one that will be super delicious and the one that will shut your kidneys down could be like, the shape of the gills underneath, or some other subtle little difference. So, yeah, it's really stoked to have him out here. So that's going to be November 5th. You can, I'll put a link in the show notes from this. Always too, don't forget to hit that like icon. Tell your friends about my channel. I'm really trying to grow this. I got a super special, crazy amount of setup video that I'm going to be doing here pretty soon that I didn't get to do last year, which I'm super excited about. Uh, and when you hit that bell icon, it lets you know every time I upload something. I'm about to upload uh, like an hour-long video that is just a slow pan of my camera over a small little patch of mushrooms with nice music in the background. So, my YouTube channel is everything from T3Live to skills to, time lapses to, my drone footage and things like that. So, yeah, tell your friends, tell your family. I'll be your best friend. You'll be handsomely rewarded in the afterlife. Anyway, so yeah, so once again, November 5th, and you can, it's right on my schedule page. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me or John. His website link is up on my website on the class page, and I'll also put it in the notes for this live show. Still a little too hot. Moving right along. So, next thing I want to talk about is, in a survival situation, um, we are always uh, uh, looking for ways to conserve energy, right? And that's one of the reasons why animal trapping is so essential to wilderness survival. Because if I set 10 traps, I can be hunting in 10 places at once. Plus, I could be out hunting with my bow. Therefore, 10xing my opportunity at food. So, being how ragged I have been run by this whole process and everything I've gone through over the last uh, year and a half, I'm trying to come up with as many passive income streams as possible. So I, of course, have my photography that I'm getting ready to add a whole new batch of photos to. Speaking of which, before I go any further, everything that is related to my photography, as well as my school store, which is what I'm leading into, is going to be moved over to a second website. The address of that website will be T3 Photo or T3-photo.com, just to keep my educational website a little less cluttered. I had many successful business people tell me that I should do that. So I'm going to listen to people who have much more experience in that world than I do. But yeah, so one thing I started doing is I started making t-shirts with my photos on them, because I met a person who makes a six-figure salary every year by not even using their art. They just take the clip art that's on the website and come up with a clever saying, and they're making lots and lots of money doing, with a few clicks. So, here's one example of a shirt. So those of us that live here up near Mount Hood, whoop, sorry, Sacred Skull, don't curse me. So we got the Hood Life t-shirt. So this is a photo I took of Mount Hood when the Alpenglow was really nice. And yeah, if you go on there in the school store section, you'll find photos of just plain animals or plants. Some of them have clever sayings. My orb weaver one is still my favorite. I'm actually waiting for my my orb weaver t-shirt. I get my stuff printed on, I get I'm using non-sweatshop clothing, um, I'm using good quality stuff. That's not, you know, whether it's recycled, whether it's organic, obviously, the people who are making it are fairly compensated. And plus, good t-shirt brands and companies, they just fit better. So, yeah, I've got a bunch of shirts up and I'm getting ready to make some long sleeves and some hoodies. Um, and my only one thing is I wish I could find like a wool company that made t-shirts and long sleeves that I could put my prints on because the my one gripe about the whole t-shirt business is it's all cotton, also known as death cloth, and I would much rather have it be out of wool. Yeah. So yeah, those all that stuff can be found in the school store. Also, I now that I'm back from Alaska, I'm going to get working back on the two throwing sticks that are up for raffle. So that is still open. If you want to buy a ticket, you got to go to the school store, and it's like the first item. So $20 gets you a shot at winning one of two handmade custom T3 throwing weapons that will be amazing. I'm actually getting ready to do some work on them and post a progress video here pretty quick. So yeah, don't forget about the raffle. So one of the last things I want to talk about, oh, one other thing. So we are very close to wrapping up this latest round of what I call my all-in-one, which is, all eight of my webinars. I have a specific order I do them in, and we are two away from the previous cycle. The new cycle, which starts with Wilderness Survival 101, will start. I'm probably thinking like end of November, early December, somewhere in there. And of course, every time I get ready to start the cycle over, I run a sale. So you're getting over 16 hours of online education. You get a recording of the webinar. And instead of paying, $800 because that's what I charge for individually, you're getting, if you just buy the all-in-one deal, you're already getting half off. And I'm going to put it on that on sale, for I think the last one I did 20% off. So for 360 bucks, people were getting 18 hours of valuable information that everybody should know that could save your life one day and also helps you to think a little differently and helps you be a more aware, helpful, amazing human being. Because that's my goal in life is to unplug people from the internet, blink, plug people into the nature net, blink, and learn how to exist in both worlds. It's fantastic that I have a device right here that I can access it- it- anything, anything I want to know. And instead, most people use these for buying things and looking at social media, being envious of somebody who's got the same problems you do. They just don't show it because everybody always puts their best face forward. That's why I'm not afraid to open up about my struggles, that I've gone through, in trying to make this, my businesses a viable thing. Um, so yeah, so people spend their time doing that or arguing some stupid point with somebody that's most likely a robot on the other side of the world. Every tool has multiple uses, right? Hammer can be used to hammer nails, or a hammer can be used to knock yourself out if you want to. Uh, it's not the proper use of the tool. Um, yeah, so wanted to get back and talk about my buddy Matthew and he's got to teach me the proper way to say it. La Primitifs. I first met, and if you go on the schedule page and look at the class, which is in March, there's a short video he recorded. Um, he runs what I consider to be probably the best winter wilderness survival program there is. Um, and he doesn't just do that, but that's what I think he is most known for. Um, he's an all-around awesome guy. He reminded me of a story that just, you know, picked me right up. Uh, you'll have to watch the video to hear the story. But yeah, so he runs a school up in Quebec, I believe, called La Primitifs. I will put a link in the show notes. You will have to translate it because it is in French. Um, so he approached me about coming down here with a group of his students and instructors to learn a little bit about what it's like in the Pacific Northwest in winter and what winter survival is like here. Because, you know, having it be rain all the time is, in my opinion, a lot worse than having snow all the time. Because rain you just get sopping wet if you're not properly prepared. Snow, it's usually below freezing and it won't stick to you. So I'll take snow over rain any day. So he's bringing some of his staff members, some of his, dedicated students down. So there's really only a few spaces in the class. I forget what our cutoff was. So he just got done teaching a class. He's resting up, and over the next couple days, he is going to send me a link, where you can register for this experience. I highly recommend you go check out the video that he made, um, on my schedule page. I'll, I'll put a link in the show notes as usual. And I'm going to be adding a video to that as well. I'm super stoked that these guys are coming down here. And yeah, we're going to have a blast. And there's going to be an optional 2-day survival quest, um, at the end. So it's a good hint to drop. And there's nobody I'd rather be out with than him and, his folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Um, Other than that, I want to give a big, hearty, super mega hug and thank you to those of you that attended the um, class my father and I did on nature photography before I left for Alaska. It was on the 23rd and 24th. Um, the income that that generated helped me immensely. It didn't help that I got hit with the $3,700 car repair bill uh, upon getting back from Alaska. But, you know, I'll figure that out. But yeah, thank you for all who attended. I'm getting ready to run my photography webinar, which is only 2 hours long and not 2 days, here in the next couple of weeks. So for those of you who are currently in the all-in-one program, you'll be getting some links to some webinars so we can finish out our cycle. Let's see, what else do I got for y'all? I am definitely in a much better space mentally, physically, um, because the class with my dad and a few other classes, I actually have a little bit of savings, uh, not much. I'm by no means like, hey, I'm a complete success, but I don't have to wake up every morning panicking, wondering if both of my bank accounts are going to be in the red. Uh, so yeah, so thank you for that. Um, and don't forget, as I said, I sell things other than just teaching. I've got my shirts, I've got my photos. I can have my photos printed on anything, from wood to glass to acrylic. They're going to be more expensive than the prints that are on my web page because those are just basic prints. Um, I also offer photographic services. You know, if you own a piece of property and you want me to come there and spend a couple days taking photos of beautiful natural things, and you want, 10 photos to hang in your house, I'll come do it. Um, I pretty much will photograph anything other than weddings. So yeah. So yeah. Thank you all so much. I wouldn't have the coolest job in the world without you all. Even though it's tough right now, it's getting easier every day. Um, and I'm so thankful to the few select people who have helped me through the darkest time of my life. And those of you, the people I'm speaking of, you know who you are. So I need not mention you by name. That shouldn't have happened. Sorry about that. But yeah, thank you all so much. The next T3 Live, I'm hoping to actually have John, the mushroom expert, here with me to do a kind of talk about mushrooms. That will most likely, hopefully, be next weekend, Saturday or Sunday, since we're getting close to November 5th, getting close to 45 years old. Holy crap. I didn't think I'd make past 30. But all right, y'all. It's been a blast as usual. Stay happy, stay healthy, do something good for somebody else, do something good for the earth, do something good for yourself. Um, Seek wisdom, learn something new every day, approach every day with an empty cup, pick up trash if you see it. It's another good one. Oh, speak of the devil. One last thing I want to announce. I'm going to be coming up with a new playlist will pop up soon, and I haven't come up with a title yet, but it's going to be something akin to a person born in the wrong century's guide to starting a business, the do's and the don'ts. And I am going to lay out some of the more hilariously ridiculous mistakes I made in the journey to blow the Tinder bundle that is FutureNature and T3 photography to life. So stay tuned for that. Until then, until next time, like I said, subscribe, hit that bell icon so that you know when the interview with John is going to come up. And yeah, I'll be seeing y'all real soon. Peace.